Guy Spier has one of the best investing track records in the world. In this video, we will explore Spier's background and experiences and how these have influenced his investing approaches and stock selection. Guy Spier describes that he started off his career in finance as a Gordon Gekko wannabe, brash and short-sighted. Then a series of transformations and self-realizations led him on a path from Benjamin Graham's The Intelligent Investor to Poor Charlie's Almanack, and also to a chance meeting with Mohnish Pabrai, and then lunch with Warren Buffett. Armed with degrees from two of the world's best universities, Oxford and Harvard, Spier started his career in investment banking in New York. The investment bank he worked for ended up being marred by financial scandals. Spier soon understood that the company's values and his own inner scorecard didn't align. Spier says, "We like to think that we can change our environment, but the truth is that it changes us. So we have to be extraordinarily careful to choose the right environment, to work with and even socialize with the right people." One of the biggest lessons Guy Spier realized was that he would never work for an organization that could taint his reputation again. As Warren Buffett once warned, it takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. If you think about that, you'll do things differently. One day, in a bookshop near Wall Street, Spier stumbled across Benjamin Graham's book, The Intelligent Investor, and couldn't put it down. The book revealed to Spier that the value investing philosophy made sense and was self-evident. Spier says, "Value investors have to be able to go their own way. The entire pursuit of value investing requires you to see where the crowd is wrong so that you can profit from their misperceptions." This transformative experience led Spier to the principles of Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. We can learn more about Charlie Munger in the video, The Tao of Charlie Munger. In 1997, Spier started his own fund and called it the Aquamarine Fund, a nod to a family business name. Spier's friendship trajectory was to encompass fellow investor Mohnish Pabrai. Spier says, "I came from a family of Jewish refugees from Germany who had achieved success in Israel and England. He was an Indian immigrant who had made it big in America. For whatever reason, I felt increasingly connected to him, both emotionally and intellectually." In 2008, Spier and Pabrai were the successful bidders in a lunch with Warren Buffett. It cost them $650,100, which went to a charity called the Glide Foundation, which was a charity that Buffett's late wife Susan supported. During this lunch, Buffett taught Spier about the right environment to be in when investing. Spier says, "As Buffett taught me, it's not enough to rely on one's intellect to filter out this noise. You need the right processes and environment to do so. For this reason, I decided to move to Zurich just 6 months after our lunch, knowing that it would be easier for me to remain clear-headed there, far from the New York vortex." During the global financial crisis, there was a heart-stopping moment for Spier when he thought his Aquamarine Fund might be caught up in the potential collapse of the bank Bear Stearns. His fund was a brokerage client of Bear Stearns, and the firm held all his assets in various accounts. Calamity was saved when JP Morgan Chase had decided to acquire Bear Stearns, with JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon guaranteeing its counterparty risk. During this period, Spier coped with the stress by applying a strategy he had learned from Tony Robbins. This was studying heroes of his who had successfully handled adversity, then imagining that they were by his side so that he could model their attitudes and behaviour. One historical figure that he used this way was the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius. We can learn more about Marcus Aurelius in the video Marcus Aurelius, Stoic Philosophy to Improve Investing Mindset. He also tried to imagine how Sir Ernest Shackleton would have felt in his shoes. He had made grievous mistakes on his great expedition to Antarctica, for example failing to land his ship Endurance when he could and then abandoning his first camp too soon. Yet he succeeded in putting these errors behind him, and he ultimately saved the lives of everyone on his team. This helped Spier to realise that his own mistakes were an acceptable part of the process. The following are the 8 principles that Guy Spier uses when investing. Number 1. Stop checking the stock price. Many investors check their stock prices not only on a daily basis but also sometimes minute by minute. Seeing the stock price on the monitor gives the investor a false measure of reassurance that everything is okay, that the Earth is still revolving in its orbit. As Warren Buffett has said, when we invest in a business, we should be willing to own it even if the stock market were to close the next day and not reopen for 5 years. Number 2. If someone tries to sell you something, don't buy it. Spier says, I have no doubt that I'll benefit much more by detaching myself from people with a self-interest in getting me to buy stuff. Number 3. Don't talk to management. Beware of CEOs and other top management, no matter how charismatic, persuasive and amiable they may seem. Exceptions to the rule are Berkshire Hathaway's Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, and also Tom Gaynor from Markel Corporation, and a small but growing minority of CEOs who take seriously the idea of sharing what they would like to know if they were in their shareholders' shoes. Number 4. Gather investment research in the right order. Spier avoids reading any press coverage until after he has studied the corporate filings. Number 5. Discuss your investment ideas only with people who have no axe to grind. Spier believes that it is important to pool your knowledge with other investors, but stick with people who can keep their ego in check. Number 6. Never buy or sell stocks when the market is open. This is to keep the market at a safe distance so that it doesn't invade your office or your brain. We can learn more about this in the video Behavioural Investing with Mr. Spock. Number 7. If a stock tumbles after you buy it, don't sell it for 2 years. As Warren Buffett once put it, I could improve your ultimate financial welfare by giving you a ticket with only 20 slots in it, so that you had 20 punches representing investments that you got to make in a lifetime, and once you'd punched through the card, you couldn't make any more investments at all. Under those rules, you'd really think carefully about what you did, and you'd be forced to load up on what you'd really thought about, so you'd do much better. Number 8. Don't talk about your current investments. Spier says, once we've made a public statement, it's psychologically difficult to back away from what we've said, even if we've come to regret that opinion. So the last thing I want to do is walk into the trap of making a public statement about a stock, given that the situation might later change or that I might subsequently discover that I was wrong. You can also learn more about Guy Spier in his book, The Education of a Value Investor. There you have it, an investing masterclass from Guy Spier, helping us to all become better investors.